This is the Cash Value Solutions Podcast, where your hosts, Jason Pohlmeyer and Kyle Mann, shed light on little-known money truths to help you take control of your financial future and become your own banker. Subscribe, rate, and review the show, and check us out at cashvaluesolutions.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cash Value Solutions Podcast this week. Kyle and I have kind of a unique scenario or topic that I think we're going to go over that isn't talked about in the IBC community a lot. So you want to introduce us to it, Kyle?
Yeah, we've been recently asked by people, how are you using your policy? Are you using your policy? So we're just going to be talking about, using your life insurance policy in today's environment because it is unique.
This is just an unheard of interest rate environment. And I'll preface it by saying, and Kyle and I have said this in the podcast before, that adapt your IBC plan to work to fit you today. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that you have to use your policy for every single thing that you're going to do in life. And, we can get into reasons in the podcast, I guess.
Sure.
Why that is. But
sure. Yeah. So recently I got asked if I've been using my policy. And yeah, I have been using my policy in years past, but this year I have not taken a policy loan. I have not taken a policy loan yet. And the reason for that is I have a line of credit also with Farm Credit. And after the dividend, that interest rate is like 3.25% or something like that %. So it's extremely cheap money. And my policy is like 5%. So,
and another thing is it was an easy line of credit to obtain as well, right?
I already had it. I had the line of credit before I had
But even
policy.
when you did get it, it was easy to attain, right?
Absolutely.
There never was this huge hoop that you had to jump through.
No. And that's something that some people have to jump through those hoops. And I did not have that issue. So I guess, though, if people hear that, like, well, you're an IBC guy and you're selling policies and stuff like that, but you're not using it. It's like, well, I see the benefit of building up this cash storage system because I don't think these times are going to last. This is absolutely crazy, this interest rate environment that we're in. And it's also not to say I'm not going to use my policy. Like, maybe I will, but I have plenty of room on my line of credit through Farm Credit right now.
And look at what that policy is doing for you. I mean, we know for fact from talking to other people that there's other people that have higher interest rates with Farm Credit because they don't have a good capital base. Mm-hmm. So they're viewed as a riskier client to them. Okay. So it's given you that, I don't know if I want to call it opportunity, but it's given you that benefit having this cash in this position.
Sure.
This cash value. And it also, it's a great place because you could have opportunities come up at any time and you have access to all your cash value still.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's not like I'm afraid to use the policy. It's just, this is how it's worked out. So,
and that's where we talk. I just mentioned this, but adapting your policy or your IBC plan to fit you today. Mm-hmm. It's called becoming your own banker. And that means that when you become the banker, when you start to think like this and work like this, you decide how you're going to make those decisions financially.
Absolutely. And if I would wait to get started because of having access to this cheap money, well, then it's going to be too late. Then money's going to be way more expensive when I'm trying to start this policy, So, that's why it makes sense to get started. And also it's providing that death benefit protection. I have debts, purchased equipment and stuff like that. There's risk to my family if I would pass.
Sure.
So,
and I think you hit on something that I want to emphasize, Kyle, is the fact that earlier you said you don't foresee this lasting forever. Neither you or I have any idea how long this will last, if it will last forever, what the future holds. We don't know. But you realize that you need to start today to prepare for the future. Absolutely. You don't just wait 5 years or 10 years from now when it does change and decide to implement this plan, because this plan takes time.
Yeah, and that's, one of Nelson's principles is long range thinking. We're preparing for
long
this
range
stuff.
thinking, and another one is don't be afraid to capitalize.
Absolutely, yeah. So, if you don't start today, then when?
Well, that's an excellent question. Everybody has to answer that for themselves.
Yeah.
And this also, it's also as a business owner, you face at least in the line of business that Kyle and I are in, you face a lot of capital expenditures up front and a lot of negative cash flow before you start receiving cash flow coming in. So even though you have this line of credit, it's kind of like peace of mind also knowing that you've been storing up this cash value. And maybe you could pay off some of that debt if you absolutely had to. Things didn't go great this year. And, things didn't pencil out or work out like the pencil said they would.
Mm-hmm. It's there. And the other thing is, we're not expecting, or we can't just cut the bank off day one either. My capital needs are, they're still greater than what I can produce for myself. So
same for me. Even if I wanted to strictly utilize policy loans for all of my banking needs, I don't have enough cash surrender value built up with my policies to do that.
One day, yeah, we both will. But yeah, it's not today, but we're preparing for it.
Absolutely. And we're getting started. I can speak for each of us because I know both of our plans. We're doing as much as we possibly can right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for some people, getting started may just be something that they're comfortable with because they aren't completely able to grasp this concept. But that's just for everybody, and we'll help you make that determination.
And at least you're getting started with something too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and some people, they want to start too big, for various things that they have going on in their life. You just got to be able to throttle them back and say, hey, I understand how badly you want to get started, but I don't think you're seeing the full picture here. Let's ease up. Maybe we'll get started, but it can't be where you want to right now.
Mm-hmm.
I understand how badly you want to get started and do as big a policy as you can, but that may not be what's best for you right now because things may not work out and just fall into place how they should.
Yeah, and I know some people will think, insurance agents just want everybody to pay the biggest premium possible. Well, if we were to do that, people would fail, and that would make us look terrible. So,
and if they failed early on, we would have to pay commissions back as well.
Yeah, so there is no value in us trying to make somebody pay a bigger premium than what they can. Absolutely none.
No. Long-standing business relationships are what is going to build
absolutely
the business for us.
And the other thing, we've mentioned this in other podcasts, Jason bought some ground this year and unexpectedly had to come up with some more money than what he first thought, for a down payment. And he used the policy loan. Right there, he had that money built up. Something unexpected happened. Good opportunity was arose from this, but then an unexpected added expense. But he had that money in cash value, was able to make it work.
And actually, even if I wanted to use my line of credit that I have established at another business, it wouldn't have been enough to fund this. So I had to come up with money from somewhere else. And I came up with all of it from a policy loan.
Yeah. The opportunity fund, the oh crap fund. It's everything.
It is. And it's just, it's gotta be, something that, discipline is going to be involved in because it's definitely something that can be hard for people to grasp. If I can borrow money from somewhere else or just take money out of my savings account, it's everything has a cost. Even that cash has a cost to use it. But, you have to understand that and be disciplined and understand what you're working towards with an IBC plan.
And we acknowledge that it's also not easy to start thinking different too, like as in the aspect of, seeing money sitting in a savings account or your checking account compared to seeing that
as
in your
cash surrender value.
Yeah. We've all grown accustomed to being very comfortable seeing those numbers in the savings account. And if those numbers get lower there, but then they're transferred, to cash value, I mean, that could make us feel a little uneasy.
Absolutely. I mean, that's something that I definitely went through. I had a substantial amount of money in my checking account because I didn't know what to do with it. And so paying the premiums the first few years was really easy because I had plenty of money in my checking account. And now that I'm getting those funds transferred over into my 2 policies that I have, you start seeing things differently.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. It's going to be a learning process throughout the whole thing. So
Absolutely. It's
to be expected. And I know it can sound easy listening to all the podcasts or YouTube videos, but it's
until
not.
You experience it yourself.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot. You can read all about it. You can do all the studying in the world. You can do it, whatever you want. But until you put the work in and you experience it.
Until you pay the premium, you start practicing the IBC concept. Yeah, I mean, there's experience that's going to lead to more knowledge being gained.
Yeah, absolutely.
That people just haven't put in books yet. And I mean, for no fault of their own, it's just hard to cover everything.
Sure.
So I don't have anything else to really say about this topic, Kyle. Do you?
No, I think we got this one covered. So if you guys have any questions, any requests for future podcasts, shoot us an email and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, these unique questions are great because it's kind of out of the norm a little bit. So it's great to be able to answer these because I'm sure if one person has this question, that somebody else does too. So
definitely.
Okay, that's all I got. We'll see you guys next week.
This was the Cash Value Solutions Podcast. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review the show. Check us out at cashvaluesolutions.com. And don't forget to tune in next week.